years on since India's victory over Pakistan in the Kargil War, and during the war, the brave Indian Army reclaimed the famous Tiger Hill and other important posts under Operation Vijay by evicting the enemy intruders. India salutes the supreme sacrifice and the valor of our fallen heroes in recapturing several mountain heights seized by Pakistani intruders in Kashmir. Straight away going across to Ishan, joining us live. Good morning to you, Ishan. How is the day being commemorated?
Good morning. We are right now at Kargil War Memorial here in Dras. You can see behind me, all the dignitaries have started to arrive. This is the memorial which has been made just at the Tolulay mountain peaks where Pakistan was occupying the entire area. I'll give you an idea that where Pakistan was positioned and how difficult was it for the Indian forces to recapture all those areas where Pakistan had positions itself. Remember, it was a treaty between both the countries not to deploy forces in those areas where there's a lot of snow, but Pakistan did not, adhere to that. In 1999, they deployed these forces. Let me give you an idea. This is the entire area of, Kargil War Memorial, which has been made after the Kargil War. But if you see these mountain peaks on top, if my camera person Shafiq can show you, these are the mountain peaks and these are the tops where Pakistani forces were deployed. There is Tiger Hill, there is also Batra Top, there is point 6363. These are the difficult locations where Indian Army actually went ahead and made sure that enemy is moved and removed from that particular positions. It was difficult because the view of the enemy was down. They could easily see the entire area in focus and they could easily target any movement that they saw from top of the hill. But remember, there are stories of not only Captain Vikram Batra, on whose name later Batra Top has been renamed, and there are several other stories resonating in these mountains, and all those veterans who have been part of those operations recall it. Now, as you can be seeing in your visuals, that is a Devendra Upredi, Northern Army commander, coming to lay wreath. Along with him are the top officials of the Indian Air Force, including the air officer commanding JNK and Ladakh, who have come here to lay the wreath. So the both services, not only the Air Force who are operational in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh as well, are here to pay homage to all the soldiers who laid down their lives during that particular critical operation. Not only did the Air Force, but also the Indian Army, in a coordinated operation launched in these mountains, made sure that the enemy is defeated. This is the story of courage and valor. All the names of those who have fallen are inscribed on the board, and every year this day is commemorated, but not only getting the families but also the veterans and also those who participated in that war. There are several stories that we have been hearing from them, including that of how Indian Army soldiers respect the enemy after they were killed in action, brought down their bodies, handed over to Pakistan, including one of the brigadiers actually writing a note about a Pakistani captain who was killed in action at that time, and then which led to him being decorated by the Pakistan Army for his action on those mountains. We have been also speaking to many army officials here who were part of that war, and they have been describing how difficult it was and challenging it was for them to actually carry on this operation, because Pakistan was occupying the crucial positions and crucial heights, and they could target any vehicle coming from this particular location. One, during the May to July period, it's very important to mention the war was fought in the summer. One, because during the winter time it's a harsh winter around this particular place where we are right now. The temperature generally dipped to minus 35 degrees Celsius and becomes very difficult to sustain here. So it was not only a challenge for the Indian Army to defeat the enemy soon, but also to make sure that before the onset of winter they are able to finish this particular war. Bofors, other weapons were also used, and particularly several regiments of the Indian Army came here, and this was actually a battlefield at that time in the summer of 1999. Apart from that, one has to importantly mention that right now the area is being commanded by 14th Corps, which did not exist at that time, but that war led to making of a separate corps for this particular sector, and the war was actually fought by the 15th Corps, which is also known as the Chinar Corps, which actually holds critical and crucial position in Jammu and Kashmir, in Kashmir Valley actually, and has been deployed along the line of control at several critical locations, and they were the ones who were actually fighting this war here in Ladakh. But then there was a need for a separate creation of a separate team altogether, and that's when the 14 corps came into existence, and this has been going on since then. Now, if cameraman Shafi can also show you, these are the names inscribed on that board, and you can see these names of all those soldiers who have actually laid down their life during that particular period. The army officials are here. You can see men from the Air Force as well. We also heard yesterday from the Air Force officials that how they started to recce the area to make sure to know exactly the positions where Pakistan was deployed. It was not easy. The missiles were being fired towards their helicopters. We talked to a veteran yesterday. He said that there was a missile fired at his helicopter, and then he recalled how he ducked all those missiles and later on helped in denting the enemy positions. Remember, since then, the LOC on this mountain, which is called as Tololing, the Battle of Tololing is famous. It has been not only depicted in the movies but also in several documentaries. This is where Pakistan was stationed, and now the line of control actually stands 9 kilometers away from this particular position. The program has started, but there are different dignitaries who will be arriving. We were also told that General VK Singh, who was leading the Indian Army and is now an MOS, will also be here. Apart from him, there are other top dignitaries from the civil administration who will also be here to pay their respect to all those Jawans who laid down their lives and showed raw courage and determination to fight for the nation. These mountains are very difficult. There is low oxygen level, then it becomes difficult to not only fight here, because one, the enemy used to target to their Bofors guns, fired towards the downside of the area. There were several roads where you wouldn't be allowed to drive during even the night time, because the movement mostly used to happen during the night time, and during that particular time lights were shut down and the vehicles would actually ply without turning on their lights, because once you turn a light, even we're told that even a matchstick was lit, they were able to fire from the above, because they were holding a position from where it could be easy for them to see Indian forces.